What's going on, guys? King Trats here, back in another video on the channel, and today we did a little bit of breakfast for dinner. It's not really breakfast when you eat one meal a day, but you understand the deal. Anyway, let's get to the meal. We've got 6 breakfast sandwiches. Basically, eggs, cheese, sausage, peppers, salt, pepper, ketchup. That's SPK. That is the New Jersey code for salt, pepper, and ketchup. Anytime you go to a place and you ask for a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, I wish I had Taylor ham, but the macros are pretty bad, and we did have an epic cheat meal over the weekend, so instead, of course, we used chicken sausage. But SPK, like I said, if you go to any bagel store in New Jersey, especially where I'm from, if you ask for salt, pepper, ketchup, that is just the way that we get our sandwiches. I don't really know if anybody outside of our region does it or orders it that way, but that is what we do. English muffins are actually whole wheat, multi-grain. They taste better than they probably look. I know English muffins really have that like really intense white color, but these have that dull brown color, but they really don't taste any different than the normal ones. But you know, we try to do the healthier versions of meals like this. The cheese is fat-free. The chicken is actually low-fat sausage. And over here, we've got 4, well, it's actually 2 English muffins, but we've got 2 English muffins with cream cheese and jelly, but in reality, it's actually total zero yogurt, high fiber strawberry jelly. I prefer strawberry jelly over grape jelly. I'm not sure why. And I use everything but the bagel seasoning on it, and then on top again. It's a seasoning you can get from Trader Joe's. I got mine from Stop and Shop. It's made by, I believe it's McCormick. Yep, I got it over here. I forgot I brought it. But it's made by McCormick. It's actually really, really good if you like everything bagels. And over here we've got some cheesy hash browns. Did them in the pan. I bought frozen potatoes. I just sauteed them in the pan with water. Actually, no oil. I try not to cook with oil. Why do I act like I run my hair through my head when I do that? But I try not to cook with oil, so I used water. It does the same effect. You just have to cook it for a little bit longer to get it crisp. And then I added a little bit of cheese, of course, and on the top is sriracha and a little bit of basil. There's peppers and onions going all through it. This stuff smells so good, and I love breakfast for dinner, so I need to stop talking so much. Pour myself my drink. We did it again. This time we've got our strawberry seltzer. Yesterday, I think I had strawberry lime, I'm not sure, but it's from the same brand at Stop and Shop. I just usually buy 4 separate ones, like, I believe it's like 4 for $10 or 4 for $9, so I just buy whatever flavors. I prefer strawberries, flavored seltzer, over any, or lime, or lemon lime. Those are my go-tos, but I said this yesterday, a lot of people don't like seltzer water, but I've just grown an acquired taste to it. I think it was just from dieting for so long. Anyway, man, let's just get into the sandwich. What are we saying? Melted plastic cheese. Cheese is fat-free. Yes, it is. The eggs are actually egg beaters. You gotta season them up, but they are pretty good. Give me that, give me that. Honestly, it puts you in the mind of a sausage McMuffin, which is my mouthful talking. My favorite McDonald's sandwich. Just doesn't have that same fattiness to it, so you don't feel as bad when you eat it. But the chicken sausage is actually breakfast sausage, so it has the same spices. And I did add ketchup to this. The only time I actually really eat ketchup is on breakfast sandwiches. I don't really like it on anything else. I don't know if that's strange. I know a lot of people love ketchup to the point, like, I have a friend who puts ketchup on their mac and cheese. But that bagel seasoning, it reminds me, I always get an everything bagel when I get my Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. From the bagel store. I'm sorry, that just gets me every time. Let me get one more of these, man. Let me get one more. I have a question. I know there's some people here from the UK. Do you guys make these? I know they're not quite crumpets, because I know crumpets is like a thing. But do you eat English muffins in England? Why do we call them English muffins? I know you don't call them English muffins. And I've had crumpets. The idea is the same, but the texture is a little different. But they do have those like nooks and crannies. And if you don't know, again, I'm talking more specifically to the UK fam. Thomas's. is the brand that most people use for English muffins. These are, in fact, Thomas's. On the box, there's like a wagon wheel, and it's like the original English muffin. And I do have some friends from overseas. I've never seen one eat a Thomas's English muffin. Somebody please look that up for me and let me know in the comments. I just thought about that. It makes no sense. In fact, your traditional English breakfast, they don't eat breakfast sandwiches. I know they exist there, but when you talk about that English breakfast, they do things that, and maybe I'll do it one day, because they are good. Now let's go back overseas to America. My US friends out there, I love you guys. If you've ever seen a traditional English breakfast, let me just get into this strawberry. I'm actually more of a strawberry jelly fan. As a kid, I didn't eat strawberry jelly at all. I only ate grape jelly. I wouldn't touch anything else, but now, I don't know. I think when you get older, you just change things because, goodness, I'm telling you, this stuff right here is an absolute game changer. I don't really eat plain bagels. I wouldn't eat everything bagels as a kid either. Cinnamon raisin was my thing. I feel like, you know how when you're a kid and you talk about old people, I'm referring to myself now as an old person. I understand age is subjective, but there are certain things that people always refer to as like old people stuff. As a kid, I really, really loved cinnamon raisin bagels. I wouldn't touch everything. I was like, okay, that's for old people. And also, the other big one, let me dig into these hash browns real quick. Let me just dig into these cheesy hash browns. Diced potatoes, peppers, onions, sriracha, extra cheese. I know somebody's gonna say I should put that on a sandwich. I don't want a sandwich to fall apart when I was eating it and just be all over the place. Because if I put diced potatoes in it, I'll be wearing them. Oh, they got that spice to it from the sriracha. Hold on. Gotta have moments. I love potatoes in every way, shape, or form. Oh my goodness. The sriracha adding was a nice touch to my own horn. But as a kid, I would never eat oatmeal raisin cookies was another one. I would never touch it. Everything bagels. Oatmeal raisin cookies, like, oh, that's for old people because my dad loved oatmeal raisin cookies. Now, I love oatmeal raisin cookies. I don't know what happened. Not to say that chocolate chip cookies aren't goated, because they are. But oatmeal raisin, yo, I feel like they're slept on. And I feel like when you get older, you appreciate them more. Maybe it's just me. Let me know if you like oatmeal cookies. Especially if you're younger. Say you're under, I don't know, under 21. How's that? I used to hate my mom for oatmeal raisin cookies. I'm tearing through this. And she was the type, I think I've said this before, if my mom didn't like it, she wouldn't bring them home. But there were always chocolate chip cookies in my house. Specific brand. And until this day, she still buys a giant Costco box of them. The brand, it's Famous Amos. I don't know if you know what Famous Amos cookies are. I know they're nationwide. You know, I didn't even know Famous Amos was black until like this year. That's crazy. He also doesn't own his own company anymore. Kind of sad, but I think he's starting a new one from Hawaii. Weird fact. But she always had Famous Amos cookies. And I used to heat them up. Never had Chips Ahoy in my house, ever. You know why? Mom didn't like them. That's just bottom line. That, I'm telling you, you gotta have this. You gotta try it. I heard it's also good. Someone was telling me this. You gotta put it on like, popcorn was one. And I don't like this, but they said it's really good. Avocado toast. I don't really eat avocados, but it does just add something to it, man. And I would think it would work with avocado toast because it has the poppy seeds and that garlic taste. Oh, man. Another thing my mom always had. She like very like, not to say they weren't popular, but they weren't like the poppin' brands. You know, as a kid, you want the stuff that you see on TV. That's why they market. And you watch Nickelodeon. I haven't watched Nickelodeon in years, but as a kid, I always watched Nickelodeon, and they always. I hope nobody has to go to the bathroom. They always would have like certain stuff. You know, you like the super soakers for like the toys. You always wanted the certain stuff because you saw them on the commercials. And one of them, the movie Home Alone didn't help this either. Kraft macaroni and cheese. There's a billion commercials, and at one point they had like little Reptar shapes because of Rugrats, and I always wanted it. My mom refused to buy it. I ain't buying that nasty mac and cheese. She's right though, it's really not that good, but they get it. Nickelodeon and those advertisers, especially in the 90s, they were probably the smartest advertisers in the world. They knew who was watching the commercials, and they knew that we would go, Mom or Dad, you know, like, I want this, and this. They would always have these like crazy commercials, like, I'm trying to think of like a toy that I really wanted but I never got. Oh, well, let's take it to the same one. The movie Home Alone, the second one. He had that little like tape player, but it was called a talk boy, and you could talk into it and it would change your voice. Or you could record your voice and it would record on tape. And you know, you couldn't do all the stuff you do now, so in the 90s it was like the coolest thing ever. I wanted one so bad, man. I never got one. He used it in the movie to like impersonate his uncle in the hotel. Y'all probably seen Home Alone. I don't hope so. It's Christmas time. Truthfully, I'm not the biggest Christmas person. I don't really, like, there's no tree in my house. I'll be honest about that. I don't have any kids, okay? I don't care that much. I'm strange, I know. But I've never put a tree up in my house. Maybe the day will come where I have some little kids of my own and I have to put the tree up. Man, these potatoes are so on point. But until that day comes, ain't no tree. And I'm not putting a Santa hat on my dog. People dress their dogs up. I would never dress my dog up. I just picture my dog being really miserable if I put like a hat on him. Or I put something. So I would never. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with dressing your dog up. He likes being naked, so he's gonna stay that way. My dog doesn't even like wear a leash. You know, both of my dogs, I don't leash them. And they both don't like go in crates or anything like that, so I feel weird putting a shirt on them. People have like the Santa outfits, or like on game day they put like a Steelers outfit. That's cool. You know, I'm not judging you at all. It's just not for me. I'm sorry for burping that thing. You know my least favorite part about Christmas is? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It has nothing to do with Christmas cheer or, you know, the carol. I don't care. Like, you want to do that stuff, knock yourself out. Let me tell you what I don't like. I so don't like this. Eggnog. Oh, my sister used to love eggnog. Now she's older, she drinks like the spiked eggnog. Oh, man. I tried it. I even tried it when I got older. Have you ever had eggnog? Does anybody like eggnog? Because people go crazy for it. I couldn't do it. A couple of years ago, I was doing a food review. Back in the Instagram review days. And they had like a Swiss cake roll, but it was an eggnog roll. Oh, I took one bite of that. I said bite. I don't even know what accent that is, but I took a bite. I wouldn't, oh. There's been some things that I've really, really disliked. That was one of them. Oh boy. Whew. Like why would you invent that? Who invented eggnog? Like why don't you just have like a milkshake? I noticed somebody watching this. I'm so sorry. Look, I try to be nice. I'm like a really nice. Well, it's stupid to call yourself nice, but I do try not to offend anybody or trigger anybody. And sometimes, like, people in the comments, when I say certain things, they'd be like, you're an idiot, you don't like eggnog, and, you know, go to hell. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. If you like eggnog, listen, I still love you. I'm sure I like stuff that people are like, why are you eating that? I get it. I like fat-free cheese. You understand how sacrilege that is for a person like me who loves cheese to live off fat-free cheese? I've been eating fat-free cheese for 5 years now. Fat-free. It's like an oxymoron. I drink seltzer water. People don't like seltzer water. So, I'm saying this tongue-in-cheek because I hope no one's that sensitive. But please don't get offended when I say, like, this is bad or this is what... Everybody likes what they like. Right? Just like there's a person out there for everybody. There's an eggnog out there for everybody. It just ain't me. And everybody knows my absolute disdain for pickles by now. And I know there's people out there who like live off pickles. Eat them out of a jar. Stay away from me. But get it how you live, man. I'm not mad at you. I'm here to spread love. And I like to understand, which is why I always say let me know in the comments. And most of you know I do answer a lot of your comments and questions because I'm genuinely curious on why people like stuff. And shout out to the people from, I think I did a video 2 days ago where I asked why people cover their mouths like this when they eat. And they told me, you know, and it wasn't like shade. They just said, listen, I do it because I don't want to spit in somebody's face while I'm eating. Or, you know, I don't want to like show my food when I'm chewing. Cool. I just was curious, you know. I think the world will be a lot better of a place if people, instead of judging, had a dialogue and try to at least understand. And just because I don't agree with somebody, these potatoes are stupid good. They're cheesy, they're crispy, they're spicy. Ugh. Stupid good. But just because I don't agree with somebody doesn't mean that I don't like you or anything like that. And what I usually do if someone, especially if I'm cool with you, and if you're watching, we're cool. You know, there's no reason for, and you guys are good about that stuff. I'm just speaking in generalities at this point, but I love to understand other people's points of views because sometimes you may say something that I didn't see, or I might say something that you didn't see, but I never really come from people. The only thing I really judge, to be honest, I don't like discrimination against anything. You know, I'm so non-discriminatory against anything. I love everybody. And I also feel like the world would be a better place if we judge people based off of character instead of gender, race, things like that. You know, I'm not going to get into like all of that, but it is a hot button issue in the world today. But I just feel like we should all just spread love. And at least try to understand one another, because at the end of the day, like, we're all people. And most of us are just trying to get by. Just trying to make a living. Just trying to get ahead. Trying to get it out the mud. Whatever it is. You know, I grew up in such a diverse place that it wasn't really a thing to, like, you know, judge people based off that kind of stuff. And the thing I realized the most people don't understand. We all are very similar when it comes to our upbringings and our families. Even if we were raised a certain way, we all have, like, the crazy uncle and you know, like, the big dinners and, like, you know, the grandma or the cook in the family, and there's so much of that similarity. I feel like we should all... How many people are in the world? 7 billion? Something like that? I'm probably way off. Is it 7 billion? Or is it 6 billion? Somewhere. It's billions, okay? I'm tired. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. But we should all just have a meal. And that sounds horrible. I know there's some people in the world that aren't as fortunate that don't get to eat every single day. And I won't talk about the steps that I've made for that. When I'm ready to talk about that platform, because I actually do, you know, with my business and stuff, we do help with charity. I don't want to go into all that stuff because I don't want it to sound like cheap or phony and stuff. Like, when I'm ready to bring that to the forefront and start raising more, I will, but I'm not going to go too much into that. But I don't know. I'm in a very, like, kumbaya mood. Maybe it's the sandwiches. Maybe not. But I just kind of want to get that out, because I do, for the most part, like, the comment section on my videos is all, like, really, really positive. Every once in a while, somebody will say some stuff, and I don't really, like, clap back in a mean way. You know, I just answer them. Or one person said something, I'll just like, yeah, all right, you know, hope your day gets better. Because that's usually my comment when people say rude stuff. Because a lot of times when people come from a rude position, let's be honest, and I'm not... Again, I try to understand people. What has to go through somebody's head to, not just me, I've been on other YouTube pages where it's the same, where a person just kind of you know, they're not doing or saying anything hurtful, they're just talking, or they make a video about, I don't know, paper planes, and somebody comes on the page and they're like, I can't stand this guy, and they write it in the comments. I never understood that. I try to understand that, and I think the biggest thing, because I get, you know, a lot of, like, rude, or, you know, people trying to be, like, hurtful in comments, or just, like, saying some, you know, and again, like, I don't know you face to face, so if you're saying stuff to me over the internet that's negative, I think negative stuff about things I see. I'll be the first one to admit that. We all do. We're humans. But I'm generally a happy person, and, excuse me, I would never say something with the intent of hurting someone's feelings, especially someone that I don't know. So when I see someone commenting on a random person's page, I'm just like, that person must really, like, be in a bad place to do that. So I try to be nice to that person. Because I'm not saying it's like but I just feel like if you might be having a bad day, and you see it and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna so I try to be nice to that person, because the thing I always say is, you don't know what people are going through. So even though someone might be trying to hurt my feelings or someone else's feelings, like, I'm always still gonna be nice, and sometimes nicer, to that person, because I just feel like I'm gonna try. I try to. It sounds so delusional, but I don't want to be the bad in the world. I don't want to be the reason that there's bad stuff in the world. You know, I don't. I always try to be the change that I would like to see. Because if I was having a bad day and I lashed out at somebody, I mean, I used to do that when I was younger. And I understand it happens, but I don't think I've ever said anything to a random person. I can be the first person to tell you I've seen some stuff pop up in my explore pages on different various social media, and I'm honestly like, what in the world is this? But I would never say that, because clearly if it's someone making content, it's something that they care about, and it's something that they're proud of because they put out there. So I don't want to like crap on somebody's dream. Yeah, I that's the way I think. And is there popular music out there or YouTube stuff out there that I don't necessarily like vibe with? Yeah. But it's popular for a reason. So why would I want to be the person to like try to bring that vibe down? You know? So I would never say something. I would never say something publicly. In my own head, I might think it, yeah. But I would never say anything because I just don't think it's the right way to do things. And I understand not everybody thinks like me. You don't have to. I'm not perfect. I'm sure I've said some dumb stuff when I was younger. Probably positive. But I think when you get a little older, you start to like see things differently. I always believe in like a 5-year window where I think every 5 years there's like a really, well, there should be a big growth from yourself. If you're 20 years old and you hit 25, you shouldn't be seeing the world the same. If you're seeing the world the exact same way, you really haven't grown. Yes, your points of view might be the same, but there's things about you and the way that you're living that you're like, man, what was I thinking when I was 20? And I say that about myself, you know? I outed myself a few days ago talking about some of the stupid dates that I've been on and how juvenile my thought process was because, and someone did write like, yeah, you were childish, you took him to cheap pizza. I did. I admitted that, I know. Like, I'm the first person to say that, but I think you have to look back at some of the stupid ways that you thought and be like, man, I was an idiot. And the thing that I try to do is say it out loud because I don't want somebody who's in their early 20s, like I used to be, you know, and maybe they'll be like, man, like I was thinking like that. Maybe I shouldn't, and they can see it earlier because it took me till my mid-20s to look back and be like, yo, you were dumb, bro. Like, no, I didn't really have anybody telling me anything. You know, I hung out with people who were like-minded and they've grown just like I have. And a lot of times until you remove yourself from that situation or you grow, you don't really see what you were doing. You know, and I understand like college is different, the lifestyle is different, like you're partying every weekend, sometimes every weekday. And I did a lot, I partied a lot. And you think it like, you think it's cool. And I'm not saying like not to enjoy yourself, but trust me when I tell you this, the things that you do in your 20s when you're partying and you're like, you know, I'm just living and YOLO, and by the time you get to your late 20s, like there's no trophies for that, man. It's just not. Like, you know, to treat people well. And I was always a nice person, but like, I probably should have paid attention in class a little more. I learned more outside of class, and I turned out okay, but I think if I would go back, like, I wouldn't want to do anything differently, but I probably would have, like, paid attention in class more, for sure. And definitely, like, with football, I probably would have, not necessarily, I took it seriously, I definitely did, but I would have cherished it more because, like, it goes fast, man. Like, you're gonna wake up, and I'm talking to the teenagers now, and even people if you're 30, you're gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, and I'm gonna be 40. You know, and when you're 40, you're gonna wake up tomorrow, and you're gonna be 50. So, if you got things that you want to do, you know, if you got things that you're doing right now, the grind, the process, like, enjoy it, because it goes fast. I like, I feel like I was in high school like 3 days ago. Like, it happens so fast. Like, life just happens so fast. It goes. Like, the one thing about life is it does not stop moving. Like, time does not stop moving. And you're going to wake up one day and you're going to get some gray hairs. I'm still waiting on mine, but they're coming, bro. I feel it. I know I am. Like, my friends are only a few years older than me. Like, they're in their, early to mid 30s, and I was always the younger, but a lot of them are getting grays and stuff, man. And it's just like, I'm gonna be gray soon, bro. Like, and if you're in high school, like, pretty soon, like, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be out of college. Like, it's gonna happen so fast. So my thing that I kind of want to leave you with is just, like, no matter what you're doing, I don't care if you're 45. If you feel like starting a YouTube channel, like, do it. Like, if you feel like you want to, like, do it. Like, don't wait, because it happens so fast. And the YouTube thing I'm doing now, I should have started it 5 years ago. I was doing Instagram, and I should have been doing YouTube at the same time. I'm enjoying this, and it's just like, I know what the channel could have been, but it had to happen this way at the same time. But if I could go back in time, like, yo, like, do the YouTube too, man. Like, and I'm doing the things that I wanted to do back then, including in my, like, other career, in my profession, like, owning my own stuff, and, like, I'm doing it now. Stuff had to happen for it to be this way, but if you see an opportunity and you want to do something, do it. Like, you want to ask that girl out on a date you've been thinking about, like, even if she curves you, just go ask, bro. Because that could be your wife one day, and you're going to hate yourself if you don't ask. It's a true story. When I was in high school, I had a crush on this girl, and I never said anything. Ever. And like and when I was in college, I like, so 4 years later, I think I was like just like graduating, and I was on my way to grad school. Like, we were out, and it was a bunch of us, but I said something, just being stupid, because at that point it really didn't matter. I was like, like, when we were in high school, like, you were dope, like, I liked you. And she's like, I liked you too. And I was like, hell. By that point, it was too far gone. Like, she was in a long-term relationship, I was in a long-term relationship, so there was just nothing. Like, it just, missed opportunity. And you never know how life could have turned out. Like, I'm not saying that it should have turned out that way, but, ladies, same thing. Like, if there's just someone you like, ask them. Like, say hi. Who cares? Slide in their DMs. Like, take the chance. Take the shot. Like, you want to go play college basketball, like, go work on it. Like, you want to be a writer, start writing stuff. Just go do something that you feel like everybody who's watching this right now, if you got this far, you have something that you want to do. And you're afraid to get the bat off your shoulders. I don't care who you are. Do it. Do it. I sound like Shia LaBeouf, but do it. Because you don't know where you can end up, and the only thing that's going to matter is 10 years from now, 5 years from now, you don't want to look back and be like, yo, I should have did that. Because there's a billion people out there who are thinking that way, and it's never too late to start. Don't feel like it's too late, just do it. Man. That got heavy, didn't it? Anyway, I finished my food, and no, I didn't finish my seltzer. I gotta edit these videos. I gotta get back to work. A lot of stuff going on. Life's good. Onwards and upwards we move, and all that other stuff that I always say. But anyway, it's been your boy King Shaz. We will be back. Christmas is coming, so I'm not sure how my content schedule is going to be. I have a lot of stuff planned. I just don't know how I'm going to, like, do it, because I only have one stomach. Even though it is a large capacity stomach, I still got to portion my stuff out. So I don't know how big my meals are going to be, or if I might skip a day so I can, put out better stuff. We'll see. But I'll keep you guys posted. As always, I love you guys. We'll be back soon, ASAP. More content. I love you. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.